the truth is it hurts, but I know that the fault's mine, because I let him go. Tried to get over it, but it's smashing with my mind.
Come to the understanding of the truth. Everybody understand that? God's going to make sure that at some point in time, before the end of their time, or at the end of their time, they're going to get the truth. The scriptures tell you that at the very end, when the trumpet blows, the Lord going to send an angel, and he's going to preach the gospel, the everlasting gospel. So no matter what, they're going to hear it. Whether they hear it right before they die, or whether they hear it when they run into one of you, they're going to hear it and they're going to believe it. Everybody understand that? Everybody got that, right? When that angel busts out the sky, black, with, you know, looking like one of the brothers, with a girdle on, say, preaching the same thing that they seen the brothers preach, they ain't going to believe that? That's why God is doing it. That's in the book of Revelation chapter 14. That's why he's going to do that. Read on.
Lift up thine eyes round about and see.
Read it one more time.
Lift up thine eyes round about and see.
Yeah, lift up your eyes and look all around about you and see. Read on.
All they gather themselves together.
All they gather themselves together. Read on.
They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Shall be what?
Shall be nursed at thy side.
Yeah, thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. A lot of people think that they, you know, your daughters is going to be on your side being nursed. There's going to be somebody standing next to you nursing your daughters. Read on.
Then thou shalt see, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear.
Read on.
And be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea
Read on.
shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Yeah, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee, which is the riches coming back to the nation of Israel. Do everybody understand that? The abundance of the sea is talking about, you know, that's how lands are connected. It's separated by water. So the abundance of the sea is talking about all the lands that's in the sea. It's going to be bringing all the riches to the nation of Israel. Do everybody understand that? All that is going to be changed back, converted, changed back into the hands of the nation of Israel. Read on.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord.
Everybody clearly see that, right? So they're going to bring all their riches. It's talking about the areas where the Arabs is at. They're going to have to turn all that over. We ain't going to be looking for the oil. They ain't going to have the land on it. We're going to be looking for them. Bring the oil. We're going to bring yourself. Read on.
All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee.
Read on.
The rams of Naboth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance of mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
Which is the nation of Israel. Read on.
Who are these that fly as a cloud?
So now what Isaiah is seeing, he's seeing a vision of the children of Israel being delivered. Everybody understand that? And when you read the book of Revelation chapter 11, the scripture says that they ascended up into heaven and their enemies beheld them. I think that's in Revelation chapter 11. There's also one in Ezekiel. But yeah, that's in Revelation chapter 11, where it says they ascended up into heaven and their enemies beheld them. Let's read that real quick. And let's get the book of Revelation chapter 11. Let's look at that. And we're going to read the 11th verse. Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. Read that for me.
And after 3 days and a half.
After 3 days and a half. Read on.
The spirit of life from God entered into them.
The spirit of life from God entered into the Israelites. To understand this, we have to read the 8th verse. Let's look at that real quick. Verse 8. Read that for me.
And their dead bodies
Read on.
shall lie in the street of the great city.
Okay, this city is talking about America. In the Bible is known as Babylon the Great. The dead bodies is talking about the Israelites that's in this kingdom that is ignorant to the knowledge of God and that don't have the spirit of God. Do everybody understand that? Read on.
Which spiritually is called Sodom.
And we understand that. Why it's spiritually called Sodom? Because it's not the physical, geographical location of Sodom and Gomorrah. But what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah? People have rights to do that, or privileges to do that in this land that we are living in right now. Everybody understand that? Read on.
And Egypt.
And Egypt. Everybody got that, right? Again, not physically the geographical location of ancient Egypt, but what happened in ancient Egypt is also happening here in America. The children of Israel were serving a hard bondage. What was different about Egypt? We went into a lot of captivities, but the bondage in ancient Egypt, that was some hard slavery. And if you want to know what that's like, look at some documentaries of what our people went through in America. That's why it's compared. Do everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Read on.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Like we all know, the scripture says what? What did Christ say to his people, the Israelites? Whatsoever they do unto you, they do unto me. The scripture says that they hung Christ on a tree. When you look at what happened to the nation of Israel, who's famous or infamous for being hung all over trees all throughout America? They call it lynching. That's associated with the history of black people. Everybody understand that? And that's what Christ is saying, that he was crucified because his people was hung on trees. There is the history of America that they have been lynched in this land. The people of God. Do everybody understand that? Read on.
And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half.
For 350 years. Everybody got that, right? From the bulk of the slave trade all the way up to the time that we were supposed to be let out of captivity, which was in 1969. Everybody understand that? That's why all the time leading up to 1969 was a turbulent time. That's when you seen prophecy being fulfilled. I mean, okay, this is all prophecy. This is all practical and simple knowledge. It all began to make sense. Why in the 60s did Judah start rising up and rebelling and wouldn't take no for an answer? Why would they would not be deterred? Not a dog, not a German shepherd, not fire hoses. Do everybody understand that? Not the threat of death, the lynchings and the Ku Klux Klan. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Nothing can deter them from wanting to be stood up and be counted as a man and as an equal. Do everybody understand that? Wanting to be free. Do everybody understand that? So this actually happened in the 60s. It was leading up to the time that God has stated in the scriptures that we would be getting out of captivity, which was supposed to be in 1969. Everybody understand that? So when the white man seen all these things happening, he was supposed to realize and recognize this is of God. You understand? Let me not further deceive these people. Let me let God's people go. But being the devil that he is, of course he's not going to do that. Being the Pharaoh that he is,
that's right.
Of course he's going to refuse. It's going to cause another great event to take place on the planet Earth that has not happened since the days of the Exodus out of ancient Egypt with the deliverer of Moses. Do everybody understand that? And that's what we're sitting here waiting on right now. It all makes sense. That's Jehovah's Witness what salvation is about. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be madness. It's going to be madness. Ask an Arab what salvation is. Madness. Blowing up yourself with a book bag on and going to heaven and getting 10 virgins. They consider that salvation. 10 virgins. They better read Kings chapter 11. Those of you that have ears to hear that. Only you gonna understand that. Okay, read.
And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
Yeah, meaning that they didn't tell us who we are. They knew who we are. They knew that we were the Jews, the true Israelites, the tribes of Israel, the lost ones that have been here and that was conquered by Esau, conquered by the different kingdoms of the Edomite. They understood these things. They knew these things, but they refused to tell us. They miseducated our people. Everybody understand that? And they told us that we were the heathens. And they took our heritage from us and our nationality from us and gave us the nationality of a people that could bring forth no profit. I mean, what's the history of African? I mean, what's the greatest thing in his history? Shaka Zulu? What's the history of what they call West Indian? There is no history. You ain't gonna find them. It's fruitless. What they call Puerto Rican. Where you gonna go back to? Nothing. You're going absolutely nowhere. So they gave you a history of a people that never accomplished anything. But we were the people that accomplished everything on the planet Earth. You everybody understand what I'm saying? Read on.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
Yeah, they that dwell upon the earth, all nations were rejoicing over us. Read on.
And make merry, and shall send gifts one to another.
Okay, now, the only nation that has a history where all nations hated them and rejoiced that we was down is the nation of Israel. So-called blacks and Hispanics and Indians. Am I right? I mean, this is documented history.